The weather wasn't great this week, so I decided to continue my series on Munich's churches. We've already explored the Frauenkirche, St. Michael's and St. Peter's, and the Adam Church. This time we are visiting Theatinerkirche, officially St. Cajetan and Adelheid, but honestly nobody calls it that. In 1650, Ferdinand Maria, Elector of Bavaria, married the Italian princess Henriette Adelaide of Savoy. For many years the couple remained childless. In 1659, Adelaide made a vow: if she were to give birth to a son, and heir to the Bavarian throne, she would have the most beautiful and precious church built. On July 11, 1662, the moment finally arrived. The future elector Max II Emanuel was born. The vow was kept, the foundation stone was laid in 1663. The Italian architects Agostino Barelli and Enrico Zuccalli were commissioned to design and build the church, which was largely completed in 1692. The two characteristic twin towers, however, were only completed around 100 years later. The church became known as the Theatinerkirche because it served as the monastery church of the Theatine order until 1801. The former monastery buildings can still be seen directly adjacent to the church on both sides. The nearby Theatinerhof is currently undergoing renovation. Today, the former monastery complex mainly houses shops and businesses. By the way, the color of the church has long been a subject of debate in Munich. Today the Theatinerkirche is yellow, but that wasn't always the case. Originally the church was grey. In the 18th century it was painted yellow, then turned grey again in the 19th century, before eventually returning to its current yellow color. The Italian late Baroque façade also contains a political detail linked to Bavaria's dynastic alliances. In the 18th century an alliance coat of arms was added above the entrance. On the left side is the Bavarian coat of arms, while the right side references the union of Saxony with the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Before entering a church you should probably wear your best shoes, and currently my favorite ones are from Giesswein. If you want to try them yourself, you can get 20% off with the code Munich20. You'll find the link down below. The exterior already hints at it, but once inside the Italian influence becomes unmistakable. The interior is richly decorated with white stucco work. Above the arches, small putti look down on the congregation. One little angel in particular seems to urge visitors to remain quiet and listen. Also barely noticeable today, the western part of the church, where the altar is located, was heavily damaged during World War II. The original altarpiece by Antonio Zanchi, depicting the founding story of the electoral couple, was destroyed in 1944. Today, the altar features a Madonna enthroned by the Flemish painter Caspar de Craya. Surrounding the altar are the four evangelists Matthew, John, Luke and Mark. Luke is a reconstruction, while Matthew is an entirely new creation, as both figures were heavily damaged or even completely destroyed during the war. In one of the side chapels you can also find the sarcophagus of King Maximilian II and his wife Marie of Prussia. The Theatinerkirche also contains a royal crypt with the tombs of several members of the Wittelsbach dynasty, including Elector Ferdinand Maria and his wife Henriette Adelaide of Savoy. However, the crypt is only open to the public on Saturdays. Despite wars, renovations and changing tastes over the centuries, the Theatinerkirche remains one of Munich's most striking churches and perhaps even its most Italian one. Munich is sometimes called the northernmost city in Italy, and places like this help explain why. And if you'd like me to show you the Italian, Polish and of course uniquely Bavarian corners of Munich, feel free to contact me for a guided tour. Here's my website and email address. See you in the next video, Philip.